means going forward. Martin, many thanks for staying with us here on News Desk. What does this decision mean for the deed of transfer of functions signed on the 18th of March?
Certainly, it means that this deed is now not legal or is not operational, and that all activities that are related to it ought to come to a halt. That said, and without the benefit of having looked at the judgment and the entire argument, I think that the court and the litigators in this matter also ought to have looked at the public resources that have gone into this arrangement, and rather than suspend the deed of operations, there should have been room for the court, the court should have given room to the executive and the county government to rectify what could be outstanding in order for the progress and the activities of the Nairobi Metropolitan not to be affected. So I find that there's a room there that could have been applied. But having said that, the government side has an opportunity to appeal against that decision and ask for a stay of operationalization of that decision in order for the status quo to be maintained. In other words, for services and all the government operations not to be affected.
All right, and so this is essentially for services, that is transport, health, planning and management, as well as public works and ancillary services. But we also saw in that executive order by President Uhuru Kenyatta not very long ago, again listing the Nairobi Metropolitan Services under the Executive Office of the President. This order now coming in light of the spat between the judiciary and the executive. How is this likely to be received?
Obviously, it is again going to receive mixed reactions depending on where you see it. For executive, it is again a way in which the judiciary is obstructing it. For judiciary, is a way in which it is stamping its authority. But looking at it from the legal perspective, I believe that this is a place where the judiciary needed to exercise a bit of caution and approach this whole decision with a bit of caution in terms of government is putting in money. We can see a lot of construction work going on in Nairobi, and there is some kind of serious development. So when you affect this kind of a decision, what do? Courts have actually suspended the operationalization of their decision for a period of time to give room for rectification of what could be an issue. That said, I also do not agree that actually, when you look at Article 187 of the Constitution in terms of transfer of functions, there is any reason to assume that there is involvement of the county assembly. That is a strange requirement. The governor exercises executive authority, so does the president and his cabinet secretary exercising executive authority. Any one of them or any two of them can come together and agree to transfer functions. It does not need the National Assembly approval, neither does it need the county assembly approval. So to even imagine that the governor needed to go to the county assembly for approval or the president to the National Assembly is to question the very essence of executive power.
Right, so what does this mean then for the leadership of Nairobi County now, with the Nairobi County Governor Mike Sonko embattled in several court cases, some of them venturing on graft allegations as well?
And this is exactly what I think that the judiciary should have applied itself rather cautiously. Sonko has been told by the judiciary itself not to exercise his office. Sonko is actually unfunctional as we speak. Now, this executive order, and rather this transfer deed, was supposed to rectify this because there's no deputy in the county government of Nairobi. So when you throw this at it, it means that there's no care and that there's no thinking around what will happen in Nairobi. And so we go into chaos rather than using an opportunity such as this to fix what could have been fixed.
All right, and it is a developing story that we will definitely be keeping an eye on. But let's shift gears now from Nairobi County and take a look at